Hi guys, hello, I'm back and here to talk about Playing for September, which is all about, this has been a little series I've been doing every Friday about supporting your little one for preparing to start school in September, or any childcare setting. Actually, it would work really well, but particularly those that are starting school in September, because there's obviously going to be lots of talk about it. And if you're anything like us, we actually had a visit this week to Mason's new school where he went and had a story with the teachers. So there's lots and lots of talk about it. Every time we drive past it, we point it out to Mason. So yeah, it's getting quite exciting, and it's also feeling very real. And I must confess, it was a funny feeling for me too, taking him for it and then him going off to have his story with the teacher. It is a funny thing. It's, yeah, a real ride of emotions. So just to say that we're all going through it together. And here are just a few things that I've been doing with Mason to help prepare him for September. So we started nice and early because it is coming up in conversations. If they are in any sort of preschool or child care setting, they may be talking about it too. So it's really about breaking it down and lots of talking about it and lots of ways to prepare them, but also it's a really nice way of preparing you as well. First of all, I must start by apologising. There was meant to be a video last Friday, however I was a bit unwell, just wasn't myself, so it would have been no good. So I thought I'd save it and do one this week instead. So like I said, Mason visited his school this week, and that's really nice because they may have, your child may have been a part of choosing the school and things, however Mason wasn't for ours. And so it's the first time he got to physically see the building, and he had some really interesting questions as well, which I'd never even thought of, so that was really nice. So it's helping just to break down that sort of the unknown at the moment. A lot of it is very much unknown and quite abstract to some of our children, particularly when we talk about going to big school. There's a lot that's going to be happening, and yeah, it's a lot for them to get their head around. So I did talk to you when we first started this, I think about 5 weeks ago, about getting a little collection of books. And the reason for that is just that books are a really great way of starting conversations with children, helping them to relate to something that's going on, helping them to imagine themselves, and it just really breaks it down. And there are a couple of books here that I've pulled out that I'm going to be looking at this week with Mace, now that he's had a little visit. Starting School with Janet and Alan Alberg, Topsy and Tim Start School, and Going to School. Any of these, I really like these, and the reason why I've chosen them is that they're, particularly this one, they really go into a lot of detail about the actual school day. So what will actually happen when they're at school. There's so much talk about once you go to school, but it's a really nice way of sort of, it's almost like breaking down the myths for children and understanding what will actually happen. And it's really nice. It goes through the day, different parts of the day, and it really breaks them down. And it also talks about how the children are feeling and what they're doing and what the teachers are doing. Yeah, and it also, oh actually, I forgot about this. It does the second day, the first week, and then I think it goes up to Christmas holidays actually. So it's all, yeah, it does. So it covers the first term, which is really nice, and I really like this book. Very clear, lots of clear pictures. It's quite a long one, so you could actually break it down if you wanted to. But the reason why I've chosen this is because books are a brilliant way of introducing children to something new, and helping them to understand, but also play is as well. Funny that, considering how much I talk about play. But allowing children to play with some new experiences is a really great way, because it's nice that they're going to be doing it in the home and in a place where they feel safe, and they can really explore things, particularly that they're experiencing at the moment. So this week, what I'm going to be doing with Mason is we're actually going to set up a little pretend school. Now, I personally, as a child, loved this. May bring back memories for you as well. Do you remember making the register and ticking off the names and having all your soft toys out in a line in front of you? I was always a teacher, obviously. But it was that whole thing of just making a little pretend school, and I think that could be a really nice thing for us to do for our children as well. So you may want to join in. Again, you don't need to buy anything specific. You can get some really gorgeous, they're almost like weather charts. I know Matalan has a lovely magnetic one. I think Early Learning Centre might do as well. And whenever we have it out, Mason does end up taking on the role of the teacher from seeing it at preschool. Now, if your child's not been in any childcare setting, it may be a little bit tricky for them to imagine. So there may be other parts of the day that you want to do instead. But for some reason, doing the register, that carpet time, having a sing-song or pretending to read a story to the class can be really lovely. And again, a nice way of your children practicing something that they're going to experience or have been experiencing experiencing so far. So having a little register, or it doesn't, like I said, you don't even need to buy one. You could maybe make a little paper one or whatever. These days quite often they're done on iPads and laptops. So actually when I was teaching, sounds like back in the day, when I was teaching, the children used to actually make laptops to be able to do the register on. So that's how times have changed. But maybe making a little register or something with all their soft toys out and play in schools is a really nice way of your child exploring it, getting used to it, breaking down all the parts of the day. And of course you can get involved as well, and help share different scenarios with your child, whether it's collecting the dinner money. Oh, you remember collecting the dinner money? It used to be, you know, you were the chosen one if you got to collect the dinner money. Things like that. But you could also break down other parts of the day. You could maybe do the actual journey to school. You could actually role play and pretend you're doing the journey to school. You may be planning on getting the bus, so why not role play getting the bus, getting the ticket, getting on the bus, getting off when it's at school, all that sort of stuff, and different things that may happen along the way. Or you might want to do something like lunch times or getting ready for PE or anything like that, just breaking it down and having a good old play. But I imagine register and carpet time, it's always a fun one. So that's something that I'm going to be doing with Mason this week, just because I'm a huge fan of role play. Really helps children with their imagination, with their social skills, and with all the language as well. And it's also a really great way that you can support your child by practicing and being involved with them. And you could take on the role of the teacher if you want to, go back to your youth, or you may want to be one of the pupils sat on the carpet joining in the sing-song led by your child, whatever. It's just a really relaxed, informal way that your child can practice something that they're starting to experience, break it down, break down all those myths, and just have fun with it. Just have fun, and it might just help them for when they start the transition. They may have more visits into school as we do, and they may pick up on things. You could make a little home corner or a little book corner that you may see in the school, all those sorts of things. So that's what I'm going to be doing this week to support Mason for starting school in September. Like I've said all along, it's all about no pressure. It's about keeping it really playful, very positive, lots of positive conversations. And when your child does have questions, try and answer them the best that they can. You may be feeling anxious yourself, and I know that it's really tricky. But the more you talk about it, the better you will all feel. Trust me, it really will help. So I hope that helps you. If you do set up a little pretend play, a little pretend school, or a little bit of role play, you'll have to let me know. Let me know how you get on with that, because yeah, it's something that we're going to be doing here too. It's just a little way of preparing Mason for starting school. So I hope that helps. Happy playing, everyone, and I'll see you next Friday for another tip for playing for September.